Hey everyone, welcome to the Midpoint. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to sit down and have a conversation with a superhero? Well, today is that day for me. I'm thrilled to be speaking with none other than Bionicman, a real-life superhero who defies all limitations. Behind the mask of Bionicman, our guest is the inspirational Michel Fornasier. Michel is not just an ordinary man, but a motivational trainer, a comic author, and a true role model. Born without a right hand, he defied adversity and transformed his life through the power of technology, becoming one of the pioneers to promote bionic prosthetics. As we dive into today's episode, we'll explore his journey, his passion for promoting inclusivity and diversity, and also the ways he uses personal experiences to inspire others. Join us as we delve into Michel's incredible story and explore how he turned challenges into triumphs. So without any further ado, oh, wait a second. Have you subscribed to this podcast yet? If not, please do and give us a rating. Without any further ado, let's get to know the Bionicman. Welcome, Michel. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you very much, Rico. Thanks for the invitation.
So it's not always it's not a very common thing to be speaking with a superhero, but everybody can see. For those that see the video, can see the uniform in the background, and I think we're speaking to each other as your alter ego, Michel, not as Bionicman. So how does that usually work in your day to day? Does it get a lot of confusion? People not knowing how to address you right now when they meet you?
Well, it's a good question, actually. It's kind of surreal sometimes when people ask you or speak with you as Bionicman, my alter ego. But, I'm kind of used to it because I'm doing this now for 3 or 4 years already. And, it's like a metamorphose kind of thing to be this superhero part. And it's always with a wink of an eye, playing this superhero.
Exactly.
For the children.
And we're gonna jump into that as well in depth later on. Let's maybe start a little bit earlier. I think the first time I've met you, we were actually talking about sort of your life with a prosthetic hand. Can you maybe walk us a little bit through sort of your early childhood? You were born without a right hand. Can you tell us a little bit how that was, and also how you discovered that you might be not as every other child or other children perceived you maybe as not everybody else. How did that basically create sort of a new way to navigate these challenges for your life? How did you discover this?
Yes, I grew up with a missing right hand, actually, in a safe environment in Fribourg, in the western part of Switzerland, with a two-handed younger brother, actually. And what was really important, my parents, they treated me the same way. So I received the same love as my younger brother. And this is really important that you treat, all human beings the same way. They are people with a missing leg, in the wheelchair, or with a missing hand. And they received the same love and the same edutainment or education, actually, as my younger brother. And this was really crucial and important. And I had a very nice childhood. Of course, there was bullying as well from other children in school, in the kindergarten. But this has nothing to do with my missing hand. I think bullying can be you wear the wrong sneakers or the job of your parents. I mean, children, actually, especially children, they are very direct and hurtful to each other with bullying. But they have a very kind and a very friendly environmental childhood, actually, back in the days in Fribourg.
Do you recall moments where you realized that you had maybe you had to solve certain challenges differently than other kids do?
Yes,
or,
well,
like in the gym or...
Yes, I love playing basketball, actually. Well, I'm not 2 meters tall, but I love to play basketball. I'm a big NBA fan as well. And I remember back in the days when I was a teenager, 13 or 14 years old, there was like a competition, a basketball camp competition. You have to, play some tests with a 3-point and stuff like this. And I was there and I was so excited about it. And the coach came to me in the first place and say, "Oh, you have a missing right hand. We are not Paralympics here, so you can do the test." Wow. And I had not the chance to do those 3-point and stuff like this. And this was Nowadays, you would say this was discrimination, and it was very hurtful, and it was a kind of bullying as well. And well, I played for the team in the neighborhood then, and we were better than the other
Oh,
at
wow.
the end. But this was kind of hurtful, and I was a teenager, 13 years old, and it was like very painful, this experience back in the
I can
days.
imagine. Did you at what point did you get a prosthetic hand? Did you already have one as a child, or did you already get it later?
I was 7 years old then, and I went with my mother to the doctor then. Of course, it was another time, but it was so scary and creepy because they were everywhere. There were like hands and legs, looking like human hands and human legs laying around. And it was a kind of shocking experience back in the days. And I think, Rico, then something inside me was created, and I say, of course, decades later, I would love to build a team and give children the opportunity to have cool prostheses like toys, I would say, and nothing like creepy, human kind of looking hands. And it was a shocking experience when I was 7 years old, like a horror movie kind of thing. But I think this was the first step then to decades later create hand prostheses with the University of Zurich and the ETH in Zurich, which has nothing creepy on it.
Can you walk us a little bit through sort of how that differs today? Sort of how many advances we've made?
We have
How much
Yes,
innovation's been done on it?
that's a good question. We have a lot of project going on with 3D printing, because 3D printing is quite innovative and very light. The material actually is very light for children. It's like 100 gram per prosthesis, so like a piece of chocolate kind of thing in Switzerland. And it's very, of course, children, they grow overnight like bamboo, they're growing so fast, and you just can print it out within like 2 or 3 hours, a brand new hand prosthesis. And we always ask the children, how should your hand actually look like? Because at the end of the day, not the mother, not the father, not Bionica or Bionicman wearing those prostheses, the boy or the girl wear it. And it's so crucial that the children have the lead actually of the design. And for girls, especially for girls, we have a lot of prostheses like in the style of Disney Frozen. All the little girls, they love Disney Frozen. They love Anna and Elsa and Olaf and those figures. And now we say, let's create Bionics. So Bionics, that's our own cartoon. Of course, I will mention it afterwards. And we have a dog, a pirate cat, actually, with a super paw. She can time traveling and flying. And now we create hand prostheses for children with the Bionics. The main topic is the Bionics. Those 4 superheroes.
Gotcha. So you, I'm pretty sure that every prosthesis needs to be custom to sort of the
Yes.
body of the wearer.
Yes.
But you're saying you go beyond that customization so that the kids feel comfortable with this. So that that's you mentioned the term toy, right? But it feels like maybe if an adult creates, or if let's say if I would design a hand, I would like to make it as human as possible, obviously,
Yes.
and so that it doesn't look different compared to any other hand. But you're going the completely opposite direction. Say, let's make it colorful, let's make it fun for the taste of that person that wears it.
Sparkling and glowing in the dark. Exactly. Yes, you are
glowing
right.
in the dark.
Actually, yes.
I would love to have it. I would love to have that.
You are absolutely right, and it's fair enough. Especially teenager, they want like a human-looking hand, because they don't want to be like, as close as possible to a human hand. But children in the range of, I would say, 5 to 12 years old, or 5 to 10, I would say, they don't want a hand looking like a human hand. They want a Hulk glove or a Mickey Mouse glove, kind of with 4 fingers, like nothing compared to teenagers, because they want to be discreet, they just want to, not hiding it, but they want to look like they have two hands. It's a different ball
Yeah.
game, teenager and
It's a
children.
different phase, I guess, in sort of in their
Yes.
development as well. I mean, the Mickey Mouse hand with 4 fingers, it just makes it more crazy. I'm switching my opinion away from the glow in the dark to the Mickey Mouse hand. That's hilarious. Okay, so when I think one of the quotes that I when I did my research about sort of your background story, I found the quote that prostheses are there to show, not to be hidden. And maybe
Yes.
talk a little bit about that, what you mean by that, because as you said, for a teenager, they might prefer to hide sort of that situation compared to maybe a kid or so. What did you mean when you mentioned that quote?
Exactly. It was especially for children. And I would say we try to make hand prostheses. We don't call them prostheses because prostheses is always kind of, sounds like old fashioned and, a little bit dusty
Sounds
and stuff.
medical in a way. Yeah.
Medical, exactly. And we call them super hands. And it's so, it's so funny to see when I'm in schools with this Bionicman costume, the children, they don't call it prostheses anymore. They call, oh, that's your super hand. And it's a different mindset. That's really a different mindset. And to answer your question, actually, it's about, we try to create like super hands or prostheses, having more Peter Pan magic in it than a Captain Hook. That's our mindset kind of thing, because it's for your environment. Sometimes it's difficult when those hands looking a little bit creepy. It's difficult to build those bridges between people with and without disabilities. And when you have like a sparkling, cool looking hand, it's much easier to build this bridge between a child with and without a hand or a limb difference.
Yeah, I fully agree. And I'm pretty sure that they're also like the cool kids in the schoolyard, right? Coming up with this kind of
Yes, and
super hands.
like 4 years ago, we had a project with Lego, and I would say 95% of the children, they love Lego. They love Lego, and
100%.
we built with Lego together a hand prosthesis with Lego bricks. And it was
No
such a
way.
success because when the child comes to kindergarten or to school and he or she has such a cool Lego hand, everybody say, wow, you are the guy with the cool Lego hand, not the one with the creepy hand prosthesis.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Now you've gone through the different phases. So share a little bit of your own experience. Like you've been going through that experience as a kid, also as a teenager, now as an adult. Like, can you help us understand a bit what that hand actually means to you? Sort of, how do you identify? Is it part of you? Is it a tool the same way as I see maybe my phone? Everybody's very
Yes.
attached to their phone as well. I mean, we're kind of extending our personality to our phones as well. How do you see it? In relation to your own identity, or maybe
Well,
over
it was a
time as
long,
well.
yes. Well, it was quite a long journey because before I had hand prostheses looking like, I used them riding a bike or my motorbike and stuff like this. It was okay for me, but I was never attached. And, I never made peace actually with my hand prostheses and myself because they're looking like a little bit, weird in a way. And I, 35 years, 3.5 decades of my life, I didn't wear hand prostheses at all. Maybe, twice a week
Hmm.
or when I can play PlayStation afterwards, I can wear it and then have like, I have to earn it. But it was a long journey. And especially in summertime, I was really ashamed of my limb difference. It's not a hard disability. It's not a heavy disability, but a very visible one. And
Hmm.
especially as a teenager in summertime, when I went out in the lake or swimming in the pool and stuff like this with other children, it was so hard for me because it was not even the look well the looking at it of the people. It was the whispering behind my back, and it was like, oh, he had a shark attack for sure because of his missing hand. It was like, all those rumors going on, and I decided for myself, let's hide it, and I'm not the talk of the town anymore. And it was a long way. It was quite a hard way. And one day when I was like 37 years old, I say, oh, I'm tired of hiding it. I'm Michael without a right hand. I'm not better or less better than the other kids or the other people. Let's show it. And I'm not, walking through the main station and say, hi, I'm Michael without the right hand. No, but I don't hide it anymore. And it took a long time actually, but now with this hand prosthesis, this is the first one I really accepted, because I made the hand. Well, actually, the glove is transparent, as you can see.
It reminds me, every time I see it, it reminds me of iRobot. Do you know the movie with Will Smith?
Like
the design is
fiction, yes, but
totally.
I'm a good one.
Yeah.
I'm a good iRobot. No, anyway, but I had the option as well as for a human-looking skin glove, and I say no. Everybody will know that's a hand prosthesis. Of course, when I move it, everybody knows it. And let's make it clear. I mean, when you see, everybody say, oh, it's an artificial hand. And when it's like, so with a skin glove, everybody look at it and say, oh, it looks like a human hand, but the movement is so different, it's so robotic. And I say, no, let's make it clear. It has 6 engines, 2 in the thumb and 4 in every finger. And I say, wow, it's so innovative. Why should I hiding it under a skin glove? And this is the first one I can 100% say, this hand is like an accessoire or a part in my daily life.
Yeah, that's, I think you did the right decision there with the design as well. Every time, I think when the first time I met you with a group of people, everybody was so intrigued and wanted to understand it, see it, have you explain it. It's really it looks a lot more like a piece of technology than the sort of term of a medical device, right?
Exactly.
And yeah, it looks really spacey.
Sorry to interrupt. I have a good colleague. She's an artist in New York, and she say, "Oh, this hand, it looks so nice and fancy in a way. You can show it at the Museum of Modern Art in New York because it's a piece of art. It's not like a medical device. Of course, it's a medical device, but it looks like a piece of art in a way as well." And it was such a flattering compliment, actually, for my hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the reference to sort of the analogy to the phone is actually that far off, because I think nowadays we really extend ourselves with these tools, and maybe at some point we'll kind of interface in different ways with our internet, or sort of our connectivity, not maybe with the screen, but in other types of connecting sort of our sensory to those devices. So I think we're just in a phase where we're exploring, and I love to see on how you do this with your hand, and sort of with the works of with everybody that created it, sort of innovated on it. Now,
exactly.
Let's talk a little bit about.
Yes, please.
Go on. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the foundation. That you're running. You mentioned already before a few projects, or sort of a few moments with the Lego, etc. that where you're working with kids. Talk us a little bit through the mission. What are you trying to achieve, and what you actually do sort of as a whole with these children?
Well, the foundation actually calls "Give Children a Hand." Well, give someone a hand is help someone. And we try to give a physical hand as well for the children, but it's much more than hand prosthesis or super magical hands. It's about diversity, bullying prevention, and inclusion. And for the comics, we started with comic books, and we had, our main goal was to make them non-violent. So with non-violence, of course, you have the Teletubbies, you have the Paw Patrol dogs. They are non-violent as well, but actually you don't have superheroines and superheroes which are violent-free. Even Superman, he's a good guy, but he's very violent with his laser eyes and, destroy the whole world. 2 people are safe and still a happy end, And I would say, let's create some non-violence. And even we are such a little tiny gear in this clockwork. But I think
Mm-hmm.
when we have a lot of different gears and a lot of different gears coming together, we can make a difference. I worked for Amnesty and UNICEF, and they had
Mm-hmm.
such a nice quote. They always say, together we can make a difference. And I think, Rico, when a lot of little gears, like we are a little gear, coming together and turn in the right direction for non-violence, I think we can make an impact and a difference. Even if it's a little puzzle piece in this world, but we keep going.
Yeah, that's great. How maybe can you give us some advice? I mean, I have two small boys in school. So how can we help, or how can I help to combat bullying and promote inclusivity?
Yeah, it's a tricky question. I think we can stop bullying. Bullying, it will always, be there actually, but we can make the children stronger than bullying. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
when they are confronted with bullying, I mean, it will be today, it will be in the future. Bullying never will disappear totally. But if the children are stronger than bullying, they don't care about if it's a tooth gap or a bigger nose. They say, you can say whatever you want to say. The bionics call, it's okay to have a bigger nose. So I don't care what you say. And they are stronger than bullying. And I think that's the way to go.
Mm-hmm. That's a good example. I feel like in many ways, when I think that also applies sort of to adults in any way, when somebody tells you something that you're not happy about and you get angry about it, most of the time it's because you actually think or accept that insult or whatever the other person is saying, and get emotional about whatever it is. But if somebody tells you, I mean, we both have brown hair, right? If I would walk up to you and say, "Hey, Michel, I hate your blonde hair," you would go like, "Okay, just move on because I'm not blonde, whatever." So if somebody would walk up to you and say you're stupid, right? You get insulted because what's him to say that you're stupid? But in the end, it's not a fact, it's not true, but we get emotional about it, right? So it's also
Exactly.
something that you can work on yourself in terms of like emotional control when somebody or when a bully talks to you. It's a
Exactly,
lot harder
Rico.
for kids, of course.
Yeah, children can be very hurtful to each other and they can be very direct and, straight and offensive. And it could be the wrong sneaker, it could be the job of the parents. And we don't say, oh, you have to be like this or that, or you live
Mm-hmm.
inclusion or diversity. No, we just give them a wink, we give them like a step or two, and they can decide, will I take something from the bionics or not? And it's fair enough. They can, no pressure. And I think one of the good ways actually to do is with comic books and with comic figures actually.
Yeah, let's talk about Bionicman a bit. How do you come up with the name, with the concept? I mean, it's a great idea to have a non-violent superhero. We already covered that. But what brought up the idea?
Yeah, well, actually, the children were the inspiration of Bionicman because back in the days, the children always asked me, "Do you have superpower with this bionic hand?"
Oh, I
And in the
see.
first place, Rico, I always say, no, I don't have superpower. And they were super disappointed. They say, oh, yeah, such a cool hand and not even superpower. How boring is that? And then I started to answer, maybe I have superpower or superpowers. And they were so excited and they say to their moms and dads and teachers, when I'm a grown up, I want to have such a super hand as well. And you can believe me, when you were asked like 790 times, do you have superpower? Sometime one day you believe it.
Yeah, for
And I had a
sure.
good colleague, David Boller. He's a Swiss guy actually, but he worked a long time for DC and Marvel in the
Mm-hmm.
US. Well, actually for Disney. And
Mm-hmm.
I talked to him and say, oh, let's create a comic book or like few stories in the first place with a superhero and a superheroine then later on with a missing hand. But the missing hand is not a weakness. No, it's like an added value. It's like their superpower kind of thing. And that's really the difference, because normally you have superheroes like Superman, he can fly, Hulk is like a super strong guy, or the Flash is like super fast, and so on. And here it's a weakness makes them to superheroes, and it's a different mindset actually. And he
So not a
was super
spider bite. Not a
exactly, no
spider bite.
spider.
It's something
Yes,
else.
and not the bats flying around Batman. Yes, and David was super excited about this, and we made some stories, put them on Instagram, and we had such a huge echo actually, and we keep going and continue the work, and now we have like 4 books, and it was, it all started actually with a dream.
Amazing. We definitely got to put the link into the show notes.
Yes,
They're also
please.
available in what languages are they available?
In French, in English, and in German.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, we'll put all the links in the show notes. So what kind of adventures do they go on? I'm sure they must have adventures since they're superheroes.
Yes, they can time travel. They are time travelers as well, and of course you have really new horizon. I mean, they visited the antique Rome, for example. They were like they visit the pirates, because actually the cat, she's a pirate cat, and
Okay.
it's but have a look at bionicmania.com. You can see a lot of cartoons and comics, and very colorful as well, and violent free, of course.
And Wild, of course. Perfect. Do you so what's there for you in the future? What are you working towards with Bionicman, also with the foundation?
Well, I'm so blessed because since 2 weeks now we had Bionica as well. And Bionica, because I was so often in the kindergarten, and the little girl asked me, do Bionic Man has a superhero girlfriend as well? And
Mm-hmm.
now we have one. Well, we are a couple, but just in the comic, not in the real life. And actually, she's vice vice Miss Germany. She was second in the Miss Germany elections 1 year
Mm-hmm.
ago, and she lost her left hand or left arm three and a half years ago with a car accident. Well, a motorbike accident.
Mm-hmm.
And I met her in a TV show in Germany in the first place. And she said, oh, if you need a Bionica, just give me a call. Let me know. And since last week or 2 weeks ago, we had Bionica as well. And she has a costume actually the same as mine, a bit more pink, of course, than
Mm-hmm.
mine.
Of
But
course.
now we can go together to child hospitals, to children's schools or sport camps. And it's, Rico, it's such a different synergy and energy actually to have those two gender equal characters. And
Mm-hmm.
this would be an amazing journey, just started 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's wonderful. Is the activity? Are you going to focus mainly on the comic and sort of your activity in schools, or do you have other plans beyond that?
Well, actually, it goes hand in hand, literally, hand in hand with the charity, of course. And
Mm-hmm.
because when we sell books, the whole amount goes to the charity. So with the amount we earn from the book, we can give children hands. We can give them as a gift, for free. And
Oh,
actually,
wonderful.
this is a project. Well, the support of the comic book, actually, the comic books give children a hand, we can say. And it's in good hands, the donation, we can say as well. It is in good hand, literally. And this would be a
Literally.
journey, and we are planning a cartoon as well on TV. This is a kind of
Oh, wow.
off the board right now. And yes, there's a lot going on for 2024 and 2025, actually. So we are quite busy, but in a
Oh,
good way.
fantastic. Fantastic. I mean, definitely worth one more time to say, like, go and have a look at the comics and order a few, if that also, if the proceeds go to these super hands for kids.
Exactly, super hand. Yes.
That's a wonderful thing. So I'm again mentioning we're going to put the link in the show notes. Please have a look. Hey, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Michel. Thanks for being part of it, and for providing all that insights and information. Good luck with Foundation. Good luck with Bionicman, the comics. Hopefully with the TV show as well soon. Thank you everyone for listening in. It was great to hear Michel's story. And if you liked it, tune in again next Friday. And please subscribe to this podcast wherever you listen to. Thank you, Michel. All the best.
Thank you. Take care and stay healthy and never grown up like Peter Pan.
Never grow up.
Bye-bye.
I love it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.